This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the New Media Production Studio. The lead stories of the show are deep fakes are here and growing by the day. Roomba is being acquired by Amazon. And the SLS is currently scheduled for an August 29th launch at 8:33 a.m. Eastern. And surprisingly, no electric vehicles on the market today qualify for the new EV tax credit. I want to welcome you to episode 1616 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, August 8th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. When you go over to the website, follow or subscribe to the show via the right-hand column of the website. Sign up for a newsletter while you're there. Definitely check out all the great content that is excluding the podcast. Lots of great tech content there. So definitely follow the site, follow the show, and stay engaged with everything we do here. You can always join our chat room at geeknews.chat or our Discord server. The link is in the show notes. You can always contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at geeknews. I'm available on Facebook as well. Just search for my name, Todd Cochran. All the partner shows are linked at geeknewscentral.com, whether it be the new media show, whether it be the GNC Week in Review with Scott and Kirk, whether it be the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. Lots of options there for you to get additional podcasts in your podcast player of choice. Of course, this show is sponsored by the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. That's our good friends at GoDaddy. You can find information about our GoDaddy deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We're into August. August promo codes are available. These include a 30% off new product purchases, a $4.99.com or new and transfer domains for new customers only, $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain, and $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, again with a free domain. These are the two best hosting deals available in the absolute known universe. At $1.99 a month economy hosting or $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting, this is the way to go. Of course, you can get a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business to business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial. All these are available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Check out all the deals and offers. Geek News Central listeners save an average of 94% on GoDaddy hosting accounts, and an average of $3.50 on each GoDaddy domain name. So definitely check out all these deals. Again, available at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Great place to go to get hooked up, get online, get set up. Be ready to weather this forthcoming recession. We want you to have alternatives in place so that if something bad happens, like a layoff, you'll have something to fall back to. I'm telling you, blogging, podcasting, you name it, lots of options to get going. Set up a site for yourself, e-commerce site. All that's possible at GoDaddy. Again, great deals, save money, get started. The only thing that's really holding any of you back, let's be kind of frank here, is the motivation to do something. The price is not the issue. It's you wanting to say, okay, Todd, it's time. It's time for me to pull the trigger. So use one of my promo codes when you do. If you don't want to get something started, you have a friend that does, share these codes with family, friends, people that you know. I tell you, it's a great way to help them save money and help further them along in what they want to do and getting online. All right, I want to thank GoDaddy again for being a longtime sponsor here of the Geek News Central podcast. Hey, one thing I want to do before I get into the content, actually, let's talk about what's been going on, and then I'll flip to my new segment in the show. Podcast award slate was announced yesterday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Myself and the folks at One Technologies worked on it for 2 or 3 days, make sure we had everything dialed in and make sure everyone qualified and all that. So now final voting has started. We actually sent the email out today to 20,000 listeners and 500 podcasters to vote on the final slate. This is a great previous week. I really had, as you know, I did the show Monday, Tuesday afternoon. I drove down to Columbus, got into the office about 5 or 5:30, and actually kind of did some cleanup. I did some getting some set. I got some coffee, got some drinks. Just went to the grocery store, kind of got everything ready for the team, and then, man, I tell you, Wednesday and Thursday was absolutely fantastic. We really did some incredible work. The team was completely dialed in. Lots of great conversations, lots of new ideas, formed some new ways to doing things. I'm just jazzed by what was accomplished and where we're headed. The team is just firing on all cylinders. I really could not ask for more. So we're excited about that. We had one of our interns come back and is doing some part-time work for us. He's in the middle of his PhD, but he's doing some stuff that haven't been able to get to, but a project we wanted to get worked on. So he's digging into that. So it's really, really a great time. And I'm really excited for the company. What else? 2 weeks. You have me for 2 weeks until I've got major travel. I leave out of here literally 2 weeks from today, and we'll be gone for 2 full weeks, and will not. So basically, from 22 August until September 8th, I will not be doing a show. I may ask for some folks to step in to do a few shows for me, and while I'm gone, to keep some stuff being fed to you guys. So keep you advised on that. But lots happening. So anyway, 2 weeks until major travel, and then we'll be back for a while. And again, this is all work related. Sadly, no fun, no vacation, but that's just the way the baseball bounces sometimes, right? All right, let's talk about donations now. A number of you have listened to me and have downloaded the Fountain app. Some of you started to use the value for value model, and actually, some of you are experimenting with it. I got an email, not an email, I've got a boost from Basaya Podcast, and this one comes to the show. It says, hey, if I'm paying for heated seats in the BMW, you better believe I'll use them whether it's sunny or not. So that was a cute one, and that was came in from 5 days ago on the show that talked about the discovery of the new UEFI rootkit that we did. Another contribution that came in was, again, let me go down here, was the test of the Fountain app, 25 sats from Basaya Podcast. And I think that's the first 2 that have come in a while. So don't know what a boost is? Download the Fountain app for iOS or Android. Start listening to the show on the Fountain app. You actually will earn Satoshis that you can donate back to any show that's in the Fountain app. So we'll read them right here in this segment. We'll read those announcements. So again, and I've got a live menu that just pops up. It tells me when things come in. Now, 50 sats, that's not a big donation, but it's a thought that counts. 1 Satoshi is, well, a millionth of a Bitcoin. When you get up into the 50,000, 100,000 sats, that's where it really goes crazy. I would ask, try to do at least 1,000 sats. Again, it's not a lot, but if you can do 1,000 sats, that would be fantastic on every boost. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the stack of stuff that Kirk has prepared for me. And we were actually talking about this at our meeting, talking about deep fakes. Now, deep fakes pose a growing danger. And A new report from VMware shows that cybersecurity professionals are seeing more deep fakes being used in cyber attacks. And deep fakes are increasingly being used. And as a threat of the technology moves to hypothetical harms to real ones. Report of attacks using face and voice altering technology jumped 13% last year. And the Global Incident Response Threat Report was released on Monday. In addition to 66% of the cybersecurity professionals surveyed for last year said they had spotted one in the past year. Deep fakes and cyber attacks aren't coming. They're already here. And deep fakes use software to make it look as if a person is doing or saying things he or she actually isn't. And of course, the technology entered the mainstream in 2019. So the tech has evolved in a big way. Voice is the most simple one. Video is harder. So we talked about how deep fakes are being used to do job interviews, not so successfully, but this stuff is just going to get more sophisticated as time goes on. So we'll keep an eye on that. And probably the most disturbing story, and this Action News came out a few days ago. Many of you probably have already heard it. But Amazon has bought the company behind Roomba. And here's the thing. I've got a Roomba in my studio in the loft. And it gets stuck quite a bit, but it still does a pretty good job. This $1.7 billion offer for iRobot, the company that makes Roomba, is scary because now Amazon gets another data point. The robots collect mapping data of your home and keep it inside its device. It connects via Wi-Fi for updates and being able to report when it's stuck. This is an interesting move here. Now, there's a lot of iRobot rivals now. Anker's Eufy, Neato, Shark, and even Dyson. But with the power of Amazon, iRobot should be able to dominate. Just think of Prime Day deals. Some of Amazon's own robots often look like Roombas already. And so this is an issue for me, considering all the data that Amazon is going to be able to collect. There was a great tweet that was talking about this in like 10 points of why Amazon should not be allowed to buy Roomba. And it was a pretty good one. I lost track of it. It's out there in the ether, but lots of discussion about this nonetheless. So what do you think about Amazon owning the data your Roomba collects when it's driving around your home? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? If it can guess what you have for your house layout, it can continue to sell to you with more options, more things that they think you need. Gigantic crowds expected for inaugural launch of the NASA's mega rocket. The local tourism office says more than 100,000 spectators are likely to hunker down near Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Now, sadly, I am going to be in Vegas on the day that this is going to launch. I'm going out there for an event, speaking several times. But again, NASA's SLS is slated for launch in just 3 weeks. And the 322-foot tall Space Launch System is the most powerful rocket that NASA has ever built, launching with 15% more power than the Apollo-era Saturn V and nearly 12% more power than the system that delivered the space shuttle to orbit. Attending an SLS launch will be a feast for the senses and a major attraction, of course. So again, it's going down on August 29th at 8:33 a.m. Eastern with backup windows available on September 2nd and September 5th. Going to launch from pad 39B at KSC and attempt to send an uncrewed Orion capsule on a 42-day journey around the moon and back. So we'll see. Definitely no landing. This thing isn't going to land like a anything from SpaceX, but they're ready to light the fires on this thing. And again, 8:33 a.m. Eastern on August 29th is the plan. So I believe that's a Monday. So many of you will be able to maybe sneak into work a little early or just check it out before you start your remote work. It's being reported by The Verge that no electric vehicle on the market today qualifies for the new EV tax. Yes. Did you hear this? They just rolled it out. But what is the consideration? Why are companies not why are no EVs going to be able to take advantage of it? It's very, very simple. The batteries. Most EVs run on lithium-ion batteries. They're mostly made in China. The nation has a lock on 76% of the battery market today. The U.S. only represents 8%. And to get the deal passed and deadlock Senate, Democrats agreed to provisions that would require eligible vehicles to use batteries that are made in Northern America. The Inflation Reduction Act, or the big fat spending bill, the big fat taxing bill, and the big fat IRS agent bill that passed this weekend would require batteries to have at least 40% of materials sourced from North America or a U.S. trading partner by 2024 in order to be eligible for the tax break. By 2029, battery components will have to be 100% made in North America. Batteries that contain minerals that were extracted, processed, or recycled by a foreign entity of concern, which is defined as a state-sponsored terrorism or countries blocked by the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Asset Control, would be ineligible for the credit. China is listed as a foreign entity of concern by the federal government. So, this is supposed to be a tough on China message. According to the Alliance for Augmented Innovation, the auto industry's main lobbying group, there's currently 72 EV models available for purchase in the United States, including battery plug-in hybrid and fuel cell electric vehicles. Of those, 70% are ineligible for the tax credit when the bill passes, and by 2029, when the additional sourcing requirements go into effect, none would qualify. So, automakers could ask for waivers, of course. And we know that it won't be a completely impossible task. Tesla uses local supplies for the majority of components of electric vehicles, with 65% of the parts used to make a Tesla Model 3 sourced from the U.S. and Canada. The EV maker has 4 models that are top of the annual automobile index, but it will still take time before the U.S. can begin to challenge China's dominance in the battery market. Ford and South Korean battery manufacturer SK Innovation are spending $11.4 billion on new factories in Tennessee and Kentucky, while General Motors is planning for new batteries with partner LG. Now, here's the problem still. The source materials will have to come from the United States. That might be a problem. NASA investigates mystery object on Mars rover sample. Kind of looks like a hair. There's some good news and some odd news. As part of its post-sampling routine, the rover takes up close pictures of some of the sampling system's components. On those images, 2 small pieces of debris were visible. A small object on the coring bit stored in the bit carousel, and a small hairline object on the drill chuck. The hairline object is easy enough to spot in an image. Is highlighted in an update. Looks like a small loose thread, like something that would unwind from a shirt button. And they're sorting out where this came from, trying to figure it's part of the entry and descent system. So, yeah, a little bit of debris, specifically where it shouldn't be. It does look almost like a little bit of a little piece of fabric. Definitely not something that they were expecting to see, nor they should have. It's definitely something that doesn't belong there. So they're going to try to figure out what is on the rover. So time will tell. Don't want those samples being contaminated with stuff that came from Earth, do we? Apple will ship 1.5 million AR/VR headsets in 2023 at $2,000, an analyst said. It's definitely more expensive than the Meta Quest 2. Apple continues to remain quiet on its rumored AR VR headset, but the iPhone maker is looking to ship 1.5 million units, according to this Apple analysis. Ming-Chi Kuo. Apple will announce the headsets during its January 2023 event, and that the company has already presented a device to board members. This could suggest a headset is nearing the final stage of development, and Apple did not respond for a comment. $2,000 for another VR headset. Of course, everyone buys all kinds of Apple stuff, including me, but $2,000 for a VR headset is a lot of money. Android 13 beta test inline Play Store search results for apps you haven't installed yet. So Google is just showing more of what it always offered. So Google's looking to add inline Play Store search results. The new Play Store results don't appear to be available on all Pixels yet. And it's supposedly a more useful search result. So time will tell. So that's something that is forthcoming to Android 13 beta. SpaceX wants Dish's 2 gig spectrum for Starlink mobile service. Boy, this is going to heat up. SpaceX is only the latest entity to call it Dish for the way it uses spectrum licenses. The satellite TV operators held wireless spectrum for years, but it's never progressed beyond small-scale test. And so this is going to be a bit of an issue here, that basically SpaceX is asking the FCC to allow it to operate a new mobile service in the 2 gigahertz band. The problem, that band is currently licensed, and two companies are already at each other's throats, and what can signal escalation of tensions. SpaceX accuses Dish of failing to utilize the spectrum and thus standing in the way of increased connectivity for consumers. Now, there was something interesting said in this article. It appears that they only have like 2 more years left on that lease, which I found surprising. So we'll see what happens here with this. But Dish needs to do something, or quit to hogging, put that spectrum back up for sale. Tesla's facing a new probe into motorbike deaths and false advertising. This is kind of scary. Tesla went into the weekend with a fresh pair of headaches. On Friday, the AP reported the federal government is investigating whether or not the company's autopilot system can safely recognize motorcyclists after a pair of fatal crashes in July. The first fatal crash occurred in the early hours of July 7th in Riverside, California, when a Tesla Model Y on State Route 91 hit a motorcycle from behind, killing its rider. The second fatal motorcycle crash occurred on July 24th, again at night, this time at I-15 outside of Draper, Utah. In that case, a Tesla Model 3 was driving behind a motorcycle, hit it, killing the driver. One of the drivers said they were using the autopilot. Now, Tesla does not have a forward-looking radar. Has a sole reliance on cameras. But even adaptive cruise control systems, I've seen at times when motorcyclists have been in the right-hand, far right or far left of the lane, often the system does not detect them. And you have to be real careful around motorcyclists at all times, regardless. But when you're running cruise control and it's pacing and you've got a vehicle in front of you and a motorcycle and then it's you in line, your adaptive cruise control can creep up on the motorcyclists that are staying on the edge. So just be aware, and I'm sure motorcyclists know this already. The second piece is California is unhappy with the way the automakers advertise its autopilot and full self-driving driver assist tech. So they're saying it's misleading marketing. And they are going to go after them for that. So, yep, this tech is going to kill a lot of people before it's perfected. Just be careful out there. Never heard of this company, but the U.S. Treasury has banned Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash Mixer for a role in crypto money laundering. The Treasury cited the mixer's links to global money laundering and cybercrime. So they've been added to a list of sanctioned organizations, barring all U.S. citizens from interacting with them and requiring that U.S. assets belonging to Tornado Cash be reported to the Office of Foreign Asset Control. The press release by the Treasury cites Tornado Cash's role in laundering cryptocurrency stolen in major hacks, especially those linked to North Korean hacking groups. With $625 million was stolen from the blockchain behind the Axie Infinity crypto game and laundered through Tornado Cash. This is a dramatic move from the Treasury in its latest escalation in a series of enforcement actions against Tornado Cash and other crypto mixers. So I'm not even going to try to explain crypto mixers here. Those of you that may know what those are, you can follow this article. Basically, again, it's a way to redistribute crypto. Lyft is creating a media division to cash in on car ads. And I see this already. A lot of Lyft drivers are running screens in the back of their cars that display ads. I think there's already third parties out there that do that. But they've created a new business unit to beef up its advertising business across its tablets, mobile app, rooftops, and bicycles, producing potential to add billions of dollars to its bottom line. Lyft Media will help cash in on the growing market for in-vehicle digital ads as cars become more connected and begin to feature multiple larger infotainment screens. And this announcement comes days after Lyft and its biggest competitor Uber announced robust second quarter financial results. So we'll see where this goes. A parent, now, okay, this one I'm just going to say, we already know this, in my opinion. Parents sue Facebook alleging the excessive use of the platform caused her teenage daughter contributed to mental health problems. That doesn't stop. Parents sue Facebook alleging that excessive use of the platform caused her teenage daughter, there's supposed to be something more there, contributed to mental health problems. Well, everyone that uses Facebook or watches mainstream media, I'm sorry, if you're heavy on this thing, it's hurting your brain. The lawsuit alleges the company knowingly exploits vulnerable users to drive profit. The teen is described as a heavy Facebook user, began using the platform at the age of 7. Well, right there's a mistake. 7? You let their daughter start using Facebook at 7? Come on now. You don't let kids start using stuff at 7? That mother needs to be talked to. Oh my God. eBay electronics resellers cry foul on new refurbished rules. A new policy hidden behind an NDA could create rigid tiers of refurbished and used sellers on eBay. Because what is refurbished? Refurbished is not always something that's been used, but sometimes has been for a little bit. I think those are kind of interchangeable, right? When someone says something's been refurbished, I automatically assume that it's been used. Refurbished goods are often stuff that we've opened up, we don't like, and we take back. Or something you thought didn't work and was sent back. So apparently, if you want to have a refurbished product now on eBay, you have to go through a certification process. Otherwise, you have to mark all the stuff you sell on eBay as used. I don't think we have much confusion in that, do we? Whereas they say big companies like the big boxes will have an advantage, be able to put stuff as certified refurbished. You know, difference between certified and it's all the same, right? I bought it. That's what I go on eBay for, is to buy a lot of used stuff. Dripping water over my shirt for those of you watching. Do you see that? Very rarely do I buy something that's new on eBay. Matter of fact, I bought something here recently that is not sold anymore. I knew the box that I had for using Livestream was showing its age, and I went out and bought a used streaming box, converter box, at a great price. When those were brand new, they were $500 a piece. I found a used one for about $100. Was very, very happy with the purchase. And I'm sure if this one gets to the point where it's being bad in 3 or 4 years, I'll go look again, see if I can find another one. But anyway, I expect stuff I buy on eBay to be mostly used. Do you own a Fitbit? Well, Fitbits will soon lose the ability to sync with computers. This one almost made my top story list. Fitbit points PC syncers to Pandora Deezer subscriptions for downloading music. No longer, on October 13th, no longer will you be able to put your own music on your Fitbit device. You'll have to use the Fitbit Connect software, and but you cannot store or download music with devices like the Fitbit Sense and the Versa 3. And you're going to have to go to subscription services. So this should not come as a surprise. They want to squeeze more money out of you. They don't want you to use your own library of music. Very comically, Elon Musk wants a public debate with Twitter's CEO instead of that upcoming court trial. The debate's going to happen, but it's going to happen in a Delaware court. That's where it's going to happen. And he says, I hereby challenge @Paraga to a public debate about the Twitter bot percentage. Musk wrote in a tweet on Saturday, let him prove to the public that Twitter has less than 5% fake or spam daily users. That's not going to happen. This is just done in earnest. So we'll see. Twitter says this trial is not about spam. And so we'll see what happens here. One way or another, something's going to happen as a result. Google's been hit with a lawsuit for dropping free workspace apps. I'm surprised it took this long. Free forever or free until we decide it isn't policy criticized in the filing. At the $5 million suit's core is an allegation that Google promised early adopters of what would later become Google Workspace that they would get to use a free version of the service for as long as the search engine offered it. I agree. So what did they do? They said, this is retiring. And they replaced it with essentially the same thing. So, yeah, I'm incurring a monthly bill for 3 or 4 accounts now that I used to not have to pay anything for. So that's why you need to be an insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider. NVIDIA warns on second quarter revenue share dip. NVIDIA shares dipped Monday after the company released a preliminary earnings that show early second quarter revenue of 6.7, well below its outlook of 8.1 billion. Wow. The company said the shortfall primarily reflects weaker than forecast gaming revenue. That's a big, big, big difference. Down 44%. NVIDIA said this word is primarily attributed to lower sell-in of gaming products, reflecting a reduction in channel partner sales likely due to macroeconomic headwinds. It also said its data enter segment has been impacted by supply chain disruption, and preliminary revenue of $3.81 billion is below the company's expectations. That figure is still up 1% over last quarter and up 61% over year. So they say our earnings margins are intact, but less money. Qualcomm is going to spend $4.2 billion on chips from Global Foundries. That's a U.S.-based company, New York factory, bringing its total commit to $7.4 billion and purchase through 2028. So good for them. Twilio was hacked by a phishing campaign and is targeting internet companies. Communications giant Twilio has confirmed hackers accessed consumer data after successfully tricking employees into handing over their corporate login credentials. The San Francisco-based company, which allows users to build voice and SMS capabilities such as two-factor authentication applications Said in a blog post published Monday, it became aware someone gained unauthorized access to information related to some Twilio customers on August 4th. And they've been doing all kinds of havoc ever since then. They've been creating fake websites, trying to do texting type of notices saying that your password needs to be reset and then sending to a false site. So not a good thing to happen here, but doesn't say how many customers of their 150,000 are affected. Atari Video Computer System returns in Lego form. The set, retailing at a heart-stopping $239, is a non-functional replica of the iconic game console, although only the model with 4 switches rather than the 6 of others in the range. Not that those switches do an awful lot in Lego form. So there we go. More stuff from Lego. Less than 1% of Netflix subscribers are playing its games. I didn't even realize Netflix has games. The company's current catalog has secured only 23.3 million downloads of games. What kind of games do they have? I don't even know. Why would you play games on Netflix? This I don't understand. I guess a lot of people don't either. Netflix is rolling out external subscription button for iOS users. So earlier this year, Apple began allowing Reader apps to provide external links for customers so they can log in and pay for a subscription for outside the App Store. Now Netflix is rolling out an option in its iOS app that takes users to its website in order to finish a new Netflix subscription. As noted by multiple users and also confirmed by 9to5Mac, the Netflix app now uses the new iOS API for Reader apps that takes the users to an external website before making a subscription. It's uncertain when exactly Netflix will be rolling this out to iPhone and iPad users, but based on reports, the rollout now seems to be worldwide. There's a note. It says, any accounts or purchases made outside of this app will be managed by the developer Netflix. Your App Store account, stored payments method, and related features such as subscriptions management and refund requests will not be available. Apple is not responsible for the privacy or security of transactions made with this developer. Okay, well, that's good. It's going to cost Apple some recurring revenue. Microsoft is tightening Edge security for less visited websites. And this is very, very funny. Now, let me read this. Because you're and they have it struck through, and you're gonna chuckle. The new feature is part of a number of security updates in version 104.0.1293.47 announced this month that are designed to reduce the risk for the 5 Edge users as they move around the internet. Yeah, who's using Edge? Okay. The enhanced security mode reduces memory-related vulnerabilities by disabling just-in-time JavaScript compilation and applying more OS protection for the browser, including hardware-enforced stack protection and arbitrary code guard. So, anyway, is there even anyone out there using Edge at all that listens to this show? If you are, I'd love to hear from you. geeknews@gmail.com. Let me know if you're using Edge. Rivian is field testing. Matter of fact, I met someone that has a family member working at Rivian. Was actually one of our team members, has a son that works at Rivian. But was talking to them about it quite a bit, and she loves the vehicle. She's gotten a ride in one. But Rivian is field testing dual motor versions of the R1T and R1S. Which I believe is the pickup and SUV. And they're driving around New Zealand in the winter. So again, running it, doing the test in New Zealand and winter testing down there. All right. Not that any of us can afford it. iOS 16 beta brings back the battery percentage icon. And so, yes, you can show the actual percentage now again, instead of the little charge icon thing that shows, how much you actually have, half or less. So they're bringing that back as an option. A Twitter security flaw may have exposed over 5 million accounts. And what you need to know, Twitter was hit with a new security vulnerability, which has been fixed. The vulnerability enabled hackers to identify which accounts and email address or phone number is associated with. And this potentially exposed the real identity of pseudonym accounts. So, doesn't say how many, but did say that they've run through this. And no passwords were compromised as a result of the hack. But I was just going through Twitter the other day and updating all of the passwords for the variety of accounts that we have. 7 frustrating Windows 11 annoyances and how to fix them. Make the pain go away with these tips and tricks from PC World. Bypass the TPM check. Move the start menu and taskbar icons to the left. Get the Windows 10 context menu back. Schedule dark mode. Return of the Explorer ribbon. Make the widget board relevant. Adjust taskbar location and size. Yeah, I have one machine left here. I'm running Windows on. Windows 10. It's the TriCaster. I very rarely get in there. Matter of fact, I got in there the other day to create a new share just so I could copy some files to the Mac every episode when I'm doing show prep. And it was giving me trouble. Once again, and finally, we hope AI systems cannot patent inventions. A U.S. Federal Circuit Court confirms there is no ambiguity, says the judge. So this had been appealed. In 2019, a gentleman by the name of Stephen Thaler failed to copyright an image on behalf of an AI system. And he appealed to that decision. And then they went to actual court. Basically, the court says, nope. The act refers to patent holders as individuals, a term which the Supreme Court has ruled ordinary means a human being. So AI will not, at least for the near future, be able to submit patents. Now, this is ironic. HBO Max has finished rolling out its much-needed app design. Well, if you like HBO Max and you're using the app, well, Warner Brothers has revealed plans to merge the 2 streaming services in the summer of 2023. Everything will be going to Discovery. It'll be unified, probably Discovery / HBO Max or something like that. One app instead of 2. I'm sure many of you will be happy. And hopefully the price doesn't go up for both. Hopefully you can get a combined deal much cheaper, but doubtful. All right, let me bring up something here. I want to double check. I'm behind in email. So if you've sent the show an email, I've got 400 some emails in my inbox that I have not read. So I apologize, but I do think, did I have one that come in that I copied over? No. So if you've sent an email to the show, I'll get through this week and be able to read it on the next show. But as always, you can send an email to geeknews@gmail.com. Geeknews@gmail.com. That's a place to send. Become an insider today. We want your support. geeknewscentral.com/insider. $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 monthly contribution goes a long way to helping the show. Your one-time contributions are greatly appreciated as well. I know everyone's budgets are tightening up because of the cost of everything, inflation. Same for me. So if you can spare a few pennies, we'd appreciate it per day. That $2 is not too hard to get in there at 6.7 cents a day. So at $2 a month, if everyone in this audience did that, that would be incredible. $5 a month would be even better. If you value what I do for this show, feel like supporting it, it's simple now. Download the Fountain app. Start listening via the Fountain app. Contribute all the Satoshis you earned from the show back to the show. That's a great way to cost you nothing except listening to the show on another app, or adding some Satoshis to your wallet and basically firing over a little extra from time to time. So again, we appreciate the value for value model. And if you do too, we'd love to have you help the show with your ongoing contributions and support of the podcast. All right, that's going to bring me to the end of the show because, yes, it does cost. This show is, in all scheme of things, probably to do what we do is a couple $1,000s a month. So just keep that in mind. All right. I want to thank you again for being here, being part of the family. And I'll be back with you on Thursday for another edition of the Geek News Central podcast. Everyone take care. Be safe out there. Take care of one another. And we'll see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.